stands for what? So when you see lowercase t, that stands for time, which means t of t. That's not, I hope at this point in pre-calculus, you understand that this is function notation. This doesn't mean temperature times time. This means the temperature after a certain time. What do you think T sub 0 stands for? That's T of T. Yeah, T sub 0 is the initial temperature. Okay. And T sub m is this. It's the temperature of the medium in which it is placed. Well, what does that mean? Well, a medium is something around something. So let's say I baked a cake and I'm cooling it in my house. The medium is the surrounding temperature. It would be what my house is set at. Let's say you were cooling something in a cup of water. Then the T sub m would be the temperature of the cup of water. Let's say you were cooling something outside. Then it would be the temperature outside. What you need to understand about that temperature is the object, is it ever going to dip below that temperature? No, right? You're not going to, if I'm like cooling a cake, it's not going to dip below room temperature because it's in that room. That's just kind of the general science property, right? Okay. Unless something was acting on it, it would remain, it would cool down to the temperature in which it's placed. So you can say for T sub m, I'm going to write instead of the medium temperature that it's just the surrounding temperature. Or if you want, you can put room temperature, as long as it's cooled in a room. Okay. So, really, all this is getting the E alone and using log to bring it down. I believe the hard thing about this is what things go where. So let's take a look at the first example, and then I'm going to have you try one. A hard-boiled egg at 96 degrees is placed in 16 degrees Celsius water to cool. 4 minutes later, the temperature of the egg is 45. I'm going to stop right there, because before you answer these questions, the first thing that you're going to always do in these problems is you're going to figure out what K is. You got to find the constant first. Then I can answer the question, but don't try to answer the question before we figure out K. So let's take a look at just, from here to here. And what do you guys think? What is this 96? Which of these things? The initial temperature, because it's the egg. Okay, so I'm going to write this down. T sub 0, I'm going to put in 96. Okay. What do you think is the 16 degrees? That's what it's cooled in, right? So isn't that T sub m? Okay. Are you given a certain time? 4 minutes? And are you given the time after 4 minutes, or the temperature after 4 minutes? Alright, so here's what we do then. Let's use the formula. We're going to have everything in here except K. What am I going to put in this spot? 45 degrees, temperature after 4 minutes, equals T sub m, which is 16, plus T sub 0 minus T sub n, which is 96, minus 16 times e to the negative k times t, which is 4. Okay, do you see how this is the only unknown? So let's get e alone first, and then what are we going to do to get that k down? Natural log. Okay, first, would you guys subtract 16 for me? What do we get? Okay. And it isn't 96 minus 16, 80? Okay. Isn't negative k times 4 the same as negative 4k? I'm just going to write it out. Alright, what should I do now? Divide by 80. I'm going to leave some space here. How do I bring that down? ln. Should we use ln or log? ln to save some time. Okay. That's going to bring that negative 4k to the front. So now I have negative 4k times natural log of e. Well, what is natural log of e? Isn't that 1? Can I cross it off then? And over here, I just had the natural log of 29 over 80. So to figure out what k is, it looks like I have to do the natural log of 29 over 80 and then divide by negative 4, right? Let's practice putting it in our calculator. A lot of people make errors because they drop parentheses. ln 29 divided by 80, make sure you close that parentheses, then divide by negative 4. Did you get this? Alright. Okay, now here's the deal, guys. The more accurate you are now with k, the more accurate your answer at the end is. So I would round to 3 or 4 decimal places when you're doing these. So once you use the information in the problem and you figure out what k is, then we use that information to answer the question. And the question is, when will the egg's temperature be 20? Now, is it 4 minutes anymore? So it's not T of 4, it's T of some T I don't know. But I know what the temperature is. What's the temperature? 20. So I'm going to put that 20 in the first spot. Nothing else is going to change. Because the temperature that it's cooling in is still the same, and the initial temperature was still the same. So I'm still going to write 16. Hey, do I really have to write 96 minus 16? No, we did that already. Plus 80. Uh-oh, this isn't k times 4 anymore. We know what k is. We're trying to find t. So I'm going to write negative 0.2536 t. And then I'm going to solve it again. What do I do first? Subtract 16. Divide by 80. Take the natural log, which drops that power down to the front. And then I can cancel out natural log. And what do I have to do last? Divide by negative 0.2536. 3/6. Okay, let's see what we get. Um, 11.8 minutes. Okay. So, here's the deal. I put 2 practice on. You don't have to do both of them. I put one on the front and the back. Would you practice this one? And just, I don't know why, it happened to be the ones that I picked both start with a 96, but it's not always going to be 96. I don't know why that happened. Okay, would you